Coming up on Be Kind, Let's Rewind.
Today we're covering Demolition Man.
I'm happy that you're happy, but the place where you're supposed to have the toilet paper, you got this little shelf with 3 seashells on it.
They always say like things of maintain your calm or enhance your calm.
Mellow greetings, s***ers.
Melina Huxley, you are fined 1/2 credit for a sotto voce violation of the verbal morality statute.
Thank you.
Right, this is what happens when HR runs your society.
What the hell are you doing here?
It's one of my favorites, where he's carrying the girl out.
How can you justify destroying a $7 million mini-mall to rescue a girl whose ransom was only $25,000? You lady.
Stallone was 46 years old in this movie.
God damn it. Stop doing that.
How are you not equal to Stallone? I can't figure it out for the life of me, dude. Like
4, 3, 2, 1.
Cue music.
Let's go blow this guy.
Away. Blow this guy away.
Welcome to Be Kind, Let's Rewind, the nostalgia podcast no one asked for, with your hosts, Chris, Leaf, and Shadwick.
I'll finish and slide out.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Be Kind, Let's Rewind, the nostalgia podcast no one asked for. Today we're covering Demolition Man. Guys, before we get started, be sure to like, subscribe if you're on the audio, hit the 5 stars, all that good stuff. And man, the comments have been coming up since Shadwick told you guys not to comment. So keep making him mad by commenting on our stuff, guys. So before we get going, let's
Mellow greetings, everyone.
Yeah, mellow greetings. Dude, where do you guys first remember seeing this? And if I'm not mistaken, Leaf, I sent you a message last night.
you did.
I was wrong. This was the first rated R movie I ever saw in theaters, and it was with Leaf. And I remember we bought our tickets at 13 years old to this rated R movie and went in and just, I remember being so nervous too because I was Puss in Pound Puppy gear. And I was just like, damn, like, here's a rated R movie. I was thinking, like, this is going to be terrible. Like, what's going on? This is, like, on the heels of us playing Mortal Kombat 2. So it's like, when I watched this, I was like, this is nothing.
It was absolutely nothing.
But you had seen an R-rated movie before, just not in theaters.
Just not in theaters.
But not in theaters yet. My first radar experience, unfortunately, was Pet Sematary, which we'll cover one day. Too much to my horror. Yeah, because that was when I left. I remember thinking, okay, that was as bad as I thought. Yeah, if not worse.
I'm gonna be sick that day.
Yeah, that's a bad one, man. Shadwick, where do you first remember seeing this?
I definitely saw it in theaters. I went with a friend to see it, and if I'm not mistaken, the first R-rated movie that I saw in theaters was Terminator 2.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's
like
a
good one.
A year before, I think.
Nice.
That's got some gruesome moments in it too. I think this only had one scene that made me a little like I was like, damn, I forgot that was in here.
Yeah, there was.
Was it the bee holes and beavers in the last scene where they were fighting in the cryo clinic?
The cryo-prison?
Dude, that cryo-prison made me want to go ahead and reach over to
Get out of the street, you fucking bum!
All right. Yeah, man. So today, since, Taco Bell won the fast food wars, apparently, I guess Coors Light was going to win the beer wars. So, but then apparently they don't allow alcohol or salt or anything. It actually kind of reminds me of Germany in 1930.
No,
Leaf, what do you got?
No, they had meth and cocaine and testosterone.
I had the international version of the film, so instead of Coors Light winning the fast food beer wars, the Miller High Life, dude, the
awesome,
champagne of beers won mine, dude. I'm cracking this bitch.
Hell
open,
yeah,
bro.
man.
It's gonna be a long one, bro.
Yep. Shadwick fan, bring us home, brother.
Well, you know what? I've been back on the insomnia train, so I've been watching a lot of late night Mad Men. Mm-hmm. So I'm going straight back to the bourbon.
Nice bourbon action, man. So
classing it up, dude. Nice.
Dude, one more time before we get started, be sure to like, subscribe, all that stuff. Also, shout out Rewinder of the Month, Kiwi. We're approaching the end of this month, so if you want to be a Rewinder of the Month, guess what? You get a free T-shirt too. So hit us up in comments.
Why wouldn't you?
Again, you can email us if you don't want people to know you're talking to us. We get that. We get that a lot. So just go ahead and send that over to us, and you too can be the next Rewinder of the Month, man. So. Let's not waste any time because I know this is a favorite of all of ours, man. So let's get over into it, guys.
Let's go blow this guy.
Demolition Man. Leaf, kick us off with some boring-ass facts.
For those who are uninitiated.
Shadwin.
My bad. Shit.
There you go. Demolition Man is a 1993 American science fiction action film directed by Marco Brambilla in his directorial debut. Already, man, imagine if your first directorial debut and you're directing Stallone.
Yeah.
Like, what? Okay.
You think Stallone was like helping him along? Like, no, you got to put the camera here.
Yeah.
Dude, he had
he was
his
handing him
input.
notes, and he's like, we can't understand you.
Hey,
yo.
The film also stars Wesley Snipes, Sandra Bullock, and Nigel Hawthorne, to name a few. It was filmed, I believe, for a budget of between 45 and 77 million, but pulled in a delicious 159.1, nearly 160 million.
This wasn't very critically acclaimed either. I guess
Nigel Hawthorne, he's not the dark-skinned fella from the police force, is he?
He is.
So
it is not the same guy.
Are you recording from Charleston?
Is he? Well, I don't know what his nationality is.
Yeah, I get you, man.
Is it Latina or Latino? Is that a thing, like the O and the A? Is like a masculine feminine thing? So if it's a Latino,
it is with the other stuff. Like
is a Latino and a Latina? Is that?
Well, we can go to our favorite website, Pornhub, and actually type in and see what comes in.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I really need I need an answer to this because I'm having a lot of issues.
I can tell this is really bothering you.
Yeah, this is starting to get. So let's talk about the casting in this real quick.
I think about it every morning when I'm on the toilet.
Wife's like, why does it take you 5 minutes to be in the bathroom that long? You're like, don't worry about it.
5.
It's 5
times 3.
Yeah, about 10 times. So let's talk about casting in this, man. So
you gotta puff that up.
Didn't realize they actually cast Lori Petty for Sandra Bullock's role and filmed a couple scenes.
Is that the chick from Point Break?
Yes. And they had her cast. They did the scene, I guess, where she's at her house. They did that, because obviously when they film, they don't film in order.
Yeah.
And so,
and they're like,
I guess after,
oh, she does suck after all,
dude. After 2 days, literally the director was like, "This isn't working." And then Sandra Bullock, enter Sandra Bullock, and a career was born. I guess was this her first big one?
I can't remember. I don't remember. I mean, maybe she had some bit parts, but this was her first.
I'm sure she had some big ones to even get into Hollywood.
Yeah. But I mean, this is the first one I remember her, because this was right before.
Oh my God!
There was no baby, it was full of cans.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure?
So,
I believe, I don't think she, as far as she's obviously had, a various career, but Speed wasn't until 1994.
Right.
So that's the next thing people would remember her.
Another interesting casting note. First off, Wesley Snipes passed on this, which is kind of wild. He came back to it. They tried to get Jackie Chan to play the bad guy.
Oh.
And Jackie Chan did not want to do it, and rightfully so. Jackie was like, "I'm not a bad guy," and he thought it would. He thought it would alienate his fan base if he did it too. And so,
I don't think that would have worked.
No, hell no, it would have worked. But I mean, they're just Hollywood. They do everything that makes sense. So
they're like, "Hey, everybody knows this Asian guy. Remember him? He's like Bruce Lee, but he's like
they're like,
wacky.
Hey, doesn't this have martial arts in it?" So.
I mean, we want it to, so it needs somebody in there that knows kung fu.
We want a real martial arts master, but I guess Wesley Snipes will He'll be okay.
Oh,
Dude.
Come on. He's actually is a legitimate martial artist, man.
Dude, he is. And I will say this about him. One, his kicks look fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
But two, they had to slow him down for this movie. Cameras had not quite caught up to because in Blade, he's full speed, full on fucking killing it. I guess cameras or the way they shot hadn't quite caught up to how fast he was, so they had to make him be a little more clunky to catch everything in frame that he was doing.
Well, that's also...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think Jet Li was like fucking another level above Wesley Snipes. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
That's also when you go back and you guys, for those of you who are like me that love the old school kung fu flicks, it's sort of the reason that there's those like jerky movements that you see, like everything is not fast and fluid like it is going into the future.
Right.
That's one of the reasons, because the old cameras really couldn't capture, so you really have that sort of like...
Yeah, no, that's actually one of the things, like Bruce Lee, when he does his exaggerated massive blows or whatever. 'Cause part of that stuff was he had to slow down because they were like, dude, like we can't fucking see what you're doing.
Yeah, it's just a mess on the screen.
Yeah.
Like if you see it at full speed. So yeah, it was more of a dance, like a lot of times, like on film, which of course, in the 80s, goofily led to a lot of martial artists sort of like trying to emulate that, which is another reason that you have like the movie martial arts versus the real thing, which people didn't really start to meld into each other. By the way, shout out to the dude at one point in time that has the Eskrima sticks. Like,
dude, I saw that too. Yeah, I was like,
I don't remember that, man.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, dude.
See all this weird shit we pick up in our old age, man. So,
dude,
let's get in and start with this opening scene, because one of the behind the scenes notes that I have on this, which isn't, I guess, probably not that funny, but kind of funny to me. They didn't have to really do a whole lot other than pretend set the Hollywood thing on fire, because this was right after the LA riots. So this opening scene when they're panning, that's not a lie. Like this opening scene when they're panning, that's fucking real. So. Yeah. Yep.
Reginald Denny. We had the Martin Luther.
Yeah, Rodney King started it. Yep, and then the riot started. You had Reginald Denny, which I think the only reason me and Leaf knew them was the parodies of In Living Color that they did of them.
Hi, I'm Rodney King. And I'm Reginald Denny.
The Hollywood sign is in flames, dude, and like this whole there was this obsession like in the early 90s with basically LA like falling into the ocean or just like just disintegrating. You seen it also in
I'm still waiting for it.
Dude, I don't know when it happened, but when Predator 2 also like came out, you had the same. Do you remember that? Like, I remember that made me nervous.
It's that, dude. And then the fucking when we'll get into it, but the fucking cryo shit. Like, what was the goddamn obsession with that? Like, even isn't it Walt Disney fucking frozen? And I think Ted Williams is frozen.
I'm not. Is that a rumor? Or is
Ted Williams for real was, I thought.
Okay.
Well, so there are. Legitimately, not cryo sleep. Like
no,
they didn't.
Like,
they died, and some of them are just heads. But there are about 500 people worldwide that are in cryopreservation.
Yeah, and that's actually kind of like the play on, if anybody's watched Futurama, they have the heads in the fucking water thing. That's
this
idea.
Is what surprised me though. The first person that went into cryopreservation was James Bedford in 1967.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, we've been doing this shit for a while.
Yeah,
man.
And
according to
Hollywood's just like, let's throw it in.
According to Google, no, Walt Disney was not cryogenically frozen. He was cremated, and his ashes are interred at Forest Lawn Cemetery in Glendale,
that's
California.
what they want you to think.
That's just big misinformation covering it up.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Google.
Yeah, so we're in the setting, of course, is the crime-ridden city of Los Angeles in 1996. The movie was released in 1993, but 1996 is when it takes place. So shortly in the future, when the movie was released,
they just assumed it was going to continue to burn.
It was just going to go downhill.
They were like, this is probably there's like the OJ trials cranking up. They're like, it's just probably going on for a while, guys.
They're like, well, I mean, we don't have any water. It's just going to burn.
And the city is in chaos, overrun by crime and gang violence. The most notorious criminal in the film, Simon Phoenix, played by, of course, one Wesley Snipes. Thank God he returned, because he is a standout in this film.
100%.
Goddamn.
Yeah, I love. I don't know what it is about him. Even when he did his Blade reprise, in the what was it, Deadpool 3?
Deadpool versus
I fucking love seeing that man on camera. When he came back for the Expendables, I was like, he's just fun and good. I believe.
I must have not gotten to that part of the Expendables. Was that part 7, 8?
Yeah, I don't remember which one it was, but he came back because they made a tax evasion joke in the movie, which I thought was pretty funny. Like, I was like, yeah, man, just go ahead and fucking make fun of yourself and then move on.
Hey, that is one thing they got right in this futuristic script, him going to jail.
Arrest? Shit.
Unbeknownst to him, he is basically the kingpin criminal in this dystopian LA future. He's taking hostages in a building, and that's when we enter Sergeant John Spartan, played by none other than Sylvester Stallone, an LAPD officer known as the Demolition Man.
Dude, yeah.
The maniac hijacked a municipal bus with 30 passengers on it. That's a pretty good reason. And I got a real bad hunch where those passengers are and who that maniac is.
Due to his reckless yet effective approach to law enforcement, of course, because this is what people forget.
They have this like fly-in scene here, where he's on and he bungee jumps in or whatever the fuck. Because
it's so funny.
Yeah. So we rewatched this last night, and when he did that, and you see like there's no give in that bungee. I'm like, dude. And he breaks his back in, movie over.
And the movie's over and rolls the credits.
He jumped out like Samuel Jackson and The Rock and the other guys.
You thinking what I'm thinking, partner? Aim for the bushes.
I mean, I guess, like, again, it's the 90s. This you actually sent us a message when you were watching it. You're like, this movie is all that is 90s. Like, like it's so much, it's everywhere on it. But they have that helicopter shot, which reminded me of the Die Hard, like just the throwaway helicopter line, two people in the, like it just reminded me of that, like the classic 80s, 90s helicopter shot before he bungee jumps out and then just proceeds to whip ass, which is fun. Like, this is a fun opening scene of just badassery.
Yeah, it is. And that's the part I was watching when I texted you guys last night. I was like, this is everything 90s action.
Yeah.
Like you've got him running and like bullets are hitting the ground like in perfect lines, like right beside his feet,
like and popping next to him.
I wish to God that I had counted how many times he ran and jumped away from an explosion and yelled.
Yeah, and every time I was fucking with it. Yeah. I was just like, yeah, dude, hell yeah.
Yeah, you were 13 years old again.
Oh yeah, dude,
sitting in the theater.
Choking on popcorn,
rubbing your red rocket.
What theaters were you going to? Where's my bike?
Pee Wee Herman.
Sorry.
Dude.
Red rocket.
Yeah.
So, like, what a lot of people don't remember is about this film is, like, those movies sort of, like, they weren't going necessarily completely by the wayside, but sort of like the cheesy action flicks where the hero comes in and, like, fights. Like, this scene is sort of an actual, like, joke and a play on those types of movies, right? Yeah. Like, his whole Demolition Man persona is something that was sort of a trope for action stars, and it was something that later on will play into to what it was about that time period, and even before that, people longed for, and we even looking back, we long for it now, right? Because we're kind of pushing the age of where this movie takes place as we go into the future, which we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, so it's funny, but it's actually supposed to be funny in a way.
Like it's poking fun at itself. And I'll tell you this. Every time I cringe every time I see this. The fucking stuntman bump down the stairs. That shit fucking hurts, y'all. Like
he throws a guy down the stairwell and it's nasty.
Dude, you just got to eat shit on that one. Like there's no I don't care. People are always like, "Well, does he have padding on his back?" Like Garen got into you. That dude just fucking ate it, went down with his vest on, got up, fucking iced it down and went to the next set to be abused for his $250 a day.
Oh no, it's true, dude. It's absolutely
I bet
true.
those guys, I bet those stunt guys could like kick anybody's ass though.
Well, I mean, good luck knocking them out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, those guys are built different. They're tough.
And they had a lot of pride too. Like if you watch, like, did you watch that the Batman documentary? I sent it to you. It was before we did the Uslan interview, the one that he was on. But anyway, they had some of the stunt guys on there, and they're talking. And they're just this pride. Like one of the stunt guys, when the truck blows up in one of the Batman movies and flips over, like there's a dude in the fucking truck in a harness. It fucking knocked him loopy. He went and wandered the city for like, after they got the shot, wandered the city for like 30, 45 minutes. No one could find him. And then he finally just wandered back on set. And they were like, yeah, we're good. And he's
you're talking about The Dark Knight where that whole tractor trailer
correct, yeah.
Which was a practical effect.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like
the whole fucking truck flipped over.
And it just made me laugh that dude definitely was concussed. And everybody was just like,
He's just walking around going, Nolan.
Yeah. Dude, fucking worthless now.
There's a lot of moments like that as Sylvester Stallone, aka John Spartan.
You're fine one credit.
Yep. Yeah.
He's smashing his way through this building, just being the 80s/90s action star that he is, until he finally comes face to face with the antagonist of the film, Simon Phoenix.
Don't move, Phoenix.
And they have their big sort of their one-on-one battle, and it's just as ridiculous as you might imagine.
Oh, dude, yeah. Chadwick, I want to get your take on this. So when I was doing research, I found out Daniel Waters, I guess, that wrote Batman Returns, also wrote the first draft of this. Okay. Definitely getting some fucking Joker vibes from Wesley Snipes on this,
what I was going to say.
Like, did you pick that up too? Like, I was like, I mean,
he has some comedic beats, like, you know, him talking to himself, and when he's just whipping those cops' ass proper, out by the little kiosk thing, he's kind of making fun of him as he's doing it.
Yeah, I know, and but I mean, I just got like, I don't know why, like, just kind of.
I haven't thought about that, but I can see it. Yeah.
So the reason that I felt that way, Chris, is because like there's some scenes where he's almost like really self-deprecating in a lot of ways, and he sort of throws like his own personal safety to the wind, right? Like he's an actual maniac. And even Sylvester Stallone has a line before he jumps out of the helicopter. He says,
"Send a maniac to catch one."
Exactly. And so there's that moment where like you start to realize, or at least I felt, that Simon Phoenix is just this, like, he's an absolute insane person.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to kill, like John Spartan is his Batman. Like, he wants to kill him, but he also wants to toy with him, though.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what it is. That's where I got that from, is it's like, because when they walk in, let's not forget that he is doing the fucking Pulp Fiction, goddamn, or Scarface, depending on whichever way you want to look at that. But he's just, he's fucking, I guess this would be the Scarface off the desk.
He's doing a line off the desk.
Dude, and he just, like, gets up, and he's just like, that's your introduction to him when you walk in. But I'll tell you what, we always talk about it on the show, because we have no couth.
Oh, I thought he had a funnel cake. I thought that was
no.
I was baking a cake.
That makes more sense.
But anyway, so he like when we talk about it on the show all the time, how fucking some people just look cool as shit smoking. He lit that motherfucker for real with the goddamn blowtorch, which was amongst the most badass things I've ever seen in my life. When I went back and watched this again, I was like, you know how wrong that could have gone? Like,
to his face.
I know, but it was just like perfect. No shaking, no whatever. I was just like, Wesley Snipes, you are all that is cool. Like, dude, that is just awesome.
We gotta say, for anybody that's not seen it, he's sporting this like bleach blonde hairdo,
which led to, I think, Dennis Rodman credited him for the influence on that.
Okay.
Yes. And
he's it's like a flat top almost, but it's so cool looking, man.
Dude.
Like he's an absolute, he's a maniac.
Like perfectly coiffed.
Yeah, it is,
man. Yes. So, long story short, they have their battle. The building explodes. John Spartan escapes with Simon Phoenix in tow. However, unfortunately, it seems that the hostages that he took before were killed in the explosion.
I kind of wish there was a scene where we see like what kind of like corrupt justice system there was, because you've got like the decorated officer that captures the violent career criminal, right? And then everybody just goes off of the criminal's words, like, oh yeah, I told him they were here. He said he didn't care.
Yeah. Well, so what happened is after the explosion, there's an EMT or a firefighter that's like, there's bodies everywhere.
Right.
And so what it looked like is if John Spartan had just gone in reckless abandon
because
with
of
his own
nickname, Demolition Man, right?
Yeah, because that's just the he played everything fast and loose. That's how he got the nickname. But also, he had a personal vendetta against this guy. Like, this guy was like his mortal enemy. And so he went in kind of after him, and it looked like the movie plays it. Now later on, Simon actually like tells him, like in the middle of a fight, the truth, and like we figured out like what actually happened. But we'll save that for later on the podcast. But in this moment, it looks like John Spartan went in with reckless abandon. 30 civilians evidently were quote unquote blown up and killed in this incident, and so he is sentenced
to 70 years, sub-zero rehabilitation in the California cryopenitentiary for the involuntary manslaughter of 30 innocent civilians.
Like Chris said,
and he was charged with involuntary manslaughter, right?
Yes.
So he didn't willingly kill them, it's whatever.
Exactly, but because of his reckless abandon as the Demolition Man.
What do you want from him? Jesus
I know,
Christ.
Dude, man, he's just trying to stop the bad guys.
Sometimes it takes a maniac to catch a maniac.
Yeah, dude, I mean, you knew what
just
you were
said
doing.
that.
Yeah.
hey, speaking of that line, though, I felt like last night I was, what is it, the Mandela effect? Because, man, I know I watched this movie so many times, back in the day, and I remember him saying, send a maniac to catch a maniac. But when I watched it last night, I said the line out loud before he said it, and he said, send a maniac to catch one. And I was like,
yeah,
that's not right. Why are you changing shit?
Shadwick he looked down at his gummies, the empty box, and he's like, God damn it.
This is Berenstein beer.
Berenstein beers, man. Yeah, man. So, this is funny, too. So, in this cryo-prison scene that, Leaf, you're about to talk about, he gets in naked. By the way, this is not how this works. At least in the fucking, Dragon Ball Z and shit, they have, like, the oxygen face mask hooked up so you can still breathe and shit. They're just like, we're basically gonna drown you and freeze you right before you asphyxiate yourself in the water.
Which again was 3 years in the future from when this movie was released.
We had this awesome brand new technology. He had no choice but to be subjected to it.
I had a nice little tidbit on this one because this was, I guess, a year or two after. This probably would have been a year after the Planet Hollywood. So him, Bruce Willis, Arnold. They're getting together doing this Planet Hollywood thing. So they had dummies of Stallone made for this. Like he apparently, per the director, had no problem getting naked because he's yoked and, he's an Adonis. Dude. They said he would get do push-ups and pull-ups to get fucking pumped up. He's coming day and night. And then he would go
you got to flip that fucker up.
You got to flip that fucker up, man. So he went in and, he had no problem, they said, doing the nude scenes. But they had models of this made. Of his whole body. Well, they made several of them, and those models were at the Planet Hollywoods. So if you went to Planet Hollywood, you could see naked Stallone.
Yeah,
was this package lore accurate?
I don't know, man.
What I want to know. Dude.
And I when we first started this podcast, I think I mentioned this that we're talking about some gag giveaways, whatever. I still maintain that would make a great whiskey ball. if you had a little tiny naked Stallone that you could freeze in an ice ball to put in a whiskey. I think.
Why doesn't he sell those, dude? It's a gold.
Why don't we make it? Like,
I think. You're going to get more.
Usual.
You're going to get more girls drinking whiskey. I can tell you.
That's true. That is very true,
dude.
Man.
Well, the man has a beautiful body.
Got a beautiful body, man.
Dude,
go watch our Pumping Iron episode.
Our Pumping Iron episode, brother. Like, we have to use that as a clip because there's so many, especially when we deal with action stars. There's so many good-looking men, dude. We gotta have. We need that
body,
guy.
Man.
He's got a beautiful body, man. He's so good. So he is frozen naked, absolutely yoked in the cryo-prison. It's a really cool science fiction scene. They drop this like liquid
dude.
Whatever it is, and it like freezes instantly. You're like,
yeah.
right?
It's a cool fucking shot, though.
It is cool.
It's the Fresh Saver.
And it literally looks like a Mentos commercial or something. He's like, he's like screaming too. So there's like a bubble like from his mouth as he's like Chris says, he's drowning, I guess. Yeah. And so like it's supposed to be, sort of horrific at the same time. And I mean, it's pretty memorable. And so he is frozen in carbonite, a la Star Wars. Yeah. Han Solo, yeah. So that is it.
He's like hung Solo, though.
Yeah, hung Solo, man. That's it, dude. So then they fast forward to the future, right? But the future, like I talked about earlier, man, it's not a lot of fun to be had in the future, and it actually leads me over to shit stuck in my head this week.
She was masturbating! People, please move out of the way! Please move! This is serious, people! He was masturbating! Out of the way!
Wow.
I don't know. I just wanted to fit in a masturbating joke because you couldn't masturbate in the future. I'd fucking go crazy.
Dude, wait, they didn't say that, did they?
Yeah, man. You can't do anything. Dude, there's no fluid exchange.
So yeah, we Do
you usually exchange fluids with someone when you masturbate?
Yeah, the toilet.
Or at least the shower. Like,
why they both swallow?
Or the Kleenex, whatever.
Oh man.
Hey, by the way, what fucking savages ever used a sock? What's wrong with you people?
I don't even know where that even came from,
that
dude.
Goofy dude on American Pie.
It was way before that. I used to hear that about the sock shit all the time. That's fucking. You need to go evaluate yourself.
This is not how people live.
This is not how people live, man. So
those are actual Neanderthals. Like, just be sanitary. Anyways, 36 years into the future, the date is 2032. A significantly older now William Smithers. Before you get introduced to him, he's like assistant warden. Smithers is the guy that basically reads Stallone his last rites before he puts him in. Now he's Smithers. He is now the warden of this cryo-prison, and he immediately is checking on all of his Ice Cube prisoners when he receives a video. This is futuristic, by the way, y'all.
Yeah, dude.
I know this is
FaceTime.
You watch this now and you would take it for granted if you've never seen this movie before, but there is a video call coming in, and this is like futuristic, like tech in '93. All right.
Fellow greetings, Warden William Smithers.
Be well, Lieutenant Lenina Huxley.
Isn't it called like fiber ops or something too? Which is like what we have for internet. I have fiber optics.
It's like a fiber call or something, dude. Yeah, it's absolutely. On the other end is, of course, smoking hot, but bored police officer Lenina Huxley, played by a delicious young Sandra Bullock. Just
dude, her innocence and just
so cute.
Yeah, dude, 100%.
Do you think when they recast her, they changed Huxley's uniform, like made her wear yoga pants?
Yeah, probably.
Cause the other girl had skillet ass, like
skillet ass.
Yeah,
that's what I like about the South.
Would you be more comfortable with fish ass or carp ass?
Neither.
Or she suffers from no ass at all?
Yeah, that's the one I do.
Yeah, no acetol.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so she checks in with the warden before heading to the police station, and this is where we basically we get our first taste of what it's like in the future. Yeah. As Chris mentioned, he gave us a little spoiler. It's a sanitized future for all intents and purposes.
Lee, you said it was sanitized. I think it was castrated.
It was castrated.
Yeah. Sanitized
very cult-like. Good call, right?
Yeah, it really is. There is everything that is bad is basically, or deemed bad, is made illegal. Mm-hmm. The setting is, of course, no longer L.A. It is the city of San Angeles.
I guess because everybody's got to eat clean and shit, so Big Pharma's dead, right?
I mean, they're trying to eliminate this.
You just can't continue to poison people, so I guess
allegedly, that's ignorant.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that with the franchise wars.
Yeah.
Because there's a stark contradiction.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
This is the city of San Angeles, which is a murder of Los Angeles, San Diego, and Santa Barbara, and it's now a crime-free utopia governed by the benevolent but authoritarian Dr. Raymond Cocteau, played by Nigel Hawthorne, and his right-hand man, Odo. Odo, excuse me. A.k.a. Associate Bob, played by Glenn Shaddix, is the exact same character.
Dude, 100% like that
as
dude.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah. He even brought his same fucking kimonos and shit.
His
with
kimono.
I'm pretty sure. Why is it why is that the worldwide uniform? Everybody's wearing kimonos.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why. Because it is, even back then, weebs were being made fun of, and it was a pretentious thing for a white person to have.
Yeah, that's true.
It was symbolized. If you were wearing a kimono, it symbolized you were a world traveler. You'd been around. So if you were wearing one, you were just more elite, and so that was sort of the uniform.
Dude, Glenn Shaddix is either the best actor on the planet or really that dude.
He's
I can't
dude.
tell which one is which.
Yeah.
I think it's
right. Even though I know it's the same fucking character, every time that dude makes me laugh, or I enjoy his character. It's just that smarky.
I wonder if his kimono was made of polyester.
I mean, probably.
Like a blue suit, dude. Dude. Yeah. Yeah. And yes, he's extremely effeminate in this as well. Just it's the same character.
It's Otho. Yeah.
And so that's the Raymond Cocteau's right hand man. However, immediately we get a little taste that not all as it seems in this brand new utopia, as a robot rises up from the grass and like attempts to graffiti or spray a tag, a public sign.
I like that. That's like the realm of crime they're living in. It's like, we're gonna spray paint some shit on there.
Yeah,
and I can't remember what it said. You guys remember?
I do. Yeah, it says "Life is hell."
Okay.
That's what it says. Right before it was the sign had anti-graffiti technology, so it immediately just like
which was like
it.
shocks or electricity
how's
or
that
something.
work?
Yeah, don't ask me.
Man,
electricity
is different in the future.
Yeah, it electrocutes the graffiti off of the side instantly. But as Chris said, this is like a big issue. The police were like notified, and this is like something that's like the worst stuff that could happen.
And when that happens to you, also get the fucking stupid ass like. What is it called? The little telescope that comes up, like looking around.
Yeah,
like, the most
periscope.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Periscope.
Yeah, like and immediately we're introduced just very, very briefly to we go down to the sewers from after the periscope comes up, and it's looking around, and we see these like dirty, like hobo looking people. And you come to find out they were like sort of resistance people, but you're not really sure what their goals are.
Well, that's what happened to San Francisco when the earthquake hit. It just fell under. So all the tents just went underground.
Downtown just slid under. Yeah.
Yeah, so their plot, so as far as you can tell, is to steal a shipment of food, and they're led by one Edgar Friendly, played by a very coked up Dennis Leary, or at least his performance was, in my opinion.
God, I love to hate this place.
There's not enough of us, Friendly.
That doesn't really matter anymore, does it, Carl? People are hungry. We got nothing left to lose.
And I sent you guys a link today.
They made a 2-hour movie about the Doors. Do we need this? No, we don't. I can sum it up for you in 5 seconds. I'm drunk, I'm nobody, I'm drunk, I'm famous, I'm drunk, I'm dead. Okay, there's the whole movie. Big fat dead guy in a bathtub. There's the title for you.
Do you remember these MTV rants that he did?
Yeah, dude, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I did too, man. He was known.
Never liked Dennis Leary, even to this day. Don't know why.
Dude.
So I don't like him in long format, but
no, those little bites were good because he was just. But I mean, to me, it was just like, I don't know. To me, it was mean for the sake of being mean, like where there's no. It's just low. I don't know. Low.
I want you to grow up a little bit.
You got a lot of grow up to do. I can tell you that.
Tell you that much. Yeah.
I agree with you. I feel like his stand-up comedy was. I feel like his stand-up comedy was very, very mean, and so I agree with Chadwick. In small bites, I always enjoyed it. It was really energetic and entertaining, and that's kind of the character he plays. Like in this film, he's just very, very energetic. I almost want to say he was miscast. I think his character is a little bit too like over the top and almost like is grating in certain scenes, like depending on who he's acting with.
I think those MTV shorts probably landed him that gig.
Oh, I think so too.
Probably.
I feel like he was in this movie, at least. I feel like he was shoehorned. Like they were like, we need an up and coming. They needed cool, and Dennis Leary was cool.
I mean, maybe they were trying to push him.
That's what I mean. I think that they were like, because he was cool. Let's we had the MTV shorts, his stand up,
he was popular.
And to your point, Chris, he's always smoking, looking cool.
Looking cool as shit. Like he's a good looking dude. He's fucking sharp witted. Like, I mean, what else do you need? So I think that they probably were like, hey, we need, because let's be honest, Stallone's starting to, at least in Hollywood's eyes, because once you're past 30, they're like, well, you're done to us now. I mean, Stallone's starting to creep up there in age. Wesley Snipes, I think he was still in prime, but it's still, it's Stallone, so they're like, another Stallone action movie, is this going to work? So let's get some cool factor in there.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 2025, he's done 60 more.
And it's still good, so get fucked.
It's never over.
He brought that beret back for...
man,
what's it called? Expendables,
yeah.
Dude, the beret, the iconic.
But I did think that it was. I watched this one twice, and so when you go back and watch it again, the emphasis here on stealing food is very important.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you first see it, you make the assumption, right? You're like, hey, this is just their
dirty beggars,
right? Organized crime or whatever it is. It's the underbelly of society. But it's very big that they're only trying to steal food.
Right. In which we will touch on it momentarily. The very next scene after this, we're back at the station with Sandra Bullock at the police station. And again, they're just hammering it in on how clean and sanitized and as Chadwick said, castrated this whole society is. They don't touch each other. There's like physical contact's discouraged. So they do this weird high five thing. With
you got Rob Schneider in there too, right? Shout out Rob Schneider.
But I think one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't talk about, because you always hear about like all these various different things they do in the movie. The language that they used, I think, blew me away more this last time that I watched it than any other time, because their verbiage is very, very, very unique and clean and precise, and it's just so goofy. And they always say like things of maintain your calm or enhance your calm.
Mellow greetings, fuckers.
Which, by the way, I had a nice joke planned for that, but it's impossible for me not to swear for more than 5 minutes, apparently. And also, somebody else already ruined that joke, so.
Dude.
Sometimes lesser people, they find a bone every now and then.
Sanctimonious asshole.
Melina Huxley, you are fined 1/2 credit for a sotto voce violation of the verbal morality statute.
Thank you.
They ruin it for everybody.
And I think this is the perfect time to talk about, because this is a recurring joke. I mean, to the very end, they do not let up on this joke. In this society, as Chris mentioned, we'll go into more detail momentarily. Everything bad is banned and illegal. That includes cussing.
Yeah.
No one is allowed. If you cuss in public, the machines. They're located everywhere. Will fine you a certain amount of credits.
We get introduced to this by Sandra Bullock, right? I wanted to talk because it's when she's walking back to her office, right?
Yes.
Where she mumbles under her breath, and then you get the whole like, "Oh shit!"
She says she gets in trouble.
Sanctimonious asshole.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. She gets in trouble because her boss, one of the police chief, is basically like, "Hey, what's the deal with you? Like, always being obsessed with the 20th century and wanting action. And I realize you're bored, but you don't want things to go back to the way they were before, right? Because there's no death, there's no crime. Everything is perfect on the outside, but she's just completely and totally bored, and there's nothing
still pink on the inside.
Yeah, and she's not in, and she's just so bored, and so that's when you get that moment. She thinks she has a moment alone to herself, and she basically calls him an asshole or blow it out his ass or whatever it was, and,
right?
And she gets fined.
Sanctimonious asshole.
And and this is when she goes into her office, like with her coworker comes in there with him, and I got notes on this. So on this.
This is the Latino or the
Gonzalez,
Latina?
I believe.
Yeah. So we'll have to get back to you on that one. So in her office, there is a Red Hot Chili Peppers Blood Sugar Sex Magic poster. There's a Raiders helmet. So this would have been 92, 93. So
There's a Lethal Weapon 3 poster.
Lethal Weapon 3. And then this is the one that was great. There's a band called Bomb that had an album called Hate Fed Love. Swing and a miss, guys. This did not hit. And they thought putting that in there, they're like, these are going to be the next big things. And then, nope.
I didn't even know who the hell that band was.
I had to fucking look it up. I had to look it up because I was like, I don't know who that is. And there's a little nod. Like I said, Daniel, is it Waiters, I think? Daniel Waiters that wrote the Batman Returns or whatever. There's a Batman and Joker figurine that's in there too.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I think it's around the Lethal Weapon poster or whatever. I'll put all that shit in here. But yeah, man,
good call.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, like a little nod maybe to that. But man, it basically reminded me of my man cave.
Yeah,
just living in the past.
So I want to go ahead and ruin a little joke that's later on in the movie, because I fully expected, especially after seeing the Lethal Weapon 3 poster, I thought there was going to be like a Terminator or some type of Schwarzenegger memorabilia
reference.
Or like Rambo or Rocky, something like that.
Yeah,
and there's a part later on where Simon Phoenix he's trying to steal a gun, and he's in this museum, and he takes a gun off of a mannequin, and he goes, "Excuse me, Rambo, I need to borrow this."
Yeah,
and I love that shit. Like,
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
they did that in Tango and Cash too.
Okay, that's right.
The guy's like, "Who in the fuck do you think you are?" And another cop, like, he goes, "He thinks he's Rambo."
Yeah,
like talking about Stallone's character.
Yeah,
and then even Stallone goes, "Rambo was a pussy."
Yeah.
It's just
I love
great.
that shit. That's good stuff, man.
Yeah, I love it.
So, there are a ton of references like that in this film.
Which, I mean, goes to what Shadwick was saying. This is like all that is 90s, just with the action.
Yes.
I mean, obviously it was filmed in the 90s, but I did like the good job on the Blood Sugar Sex Magic. Bad job on the other one. Like a Bomb. The self-titled. The self-titled band. Whoops. Sorry.
So traditional violence is banned, swearing is banned, physical contact, unhealthy foods.
She don't know.
All these things are outlawed, and the police force is basically unarmed. Like, there's no reason for them to carry weapons. They have these weird futuristic stun batons, but that's it. Crime is virtually non-existent in this time period. And of course, as it was mentioned, Huxley, a police officer fascinated by the 20th century, with all of Chris's men cave stuffed into her into her office, as well as we learn later on she has
orifice.
At her house.
At her apartment, we find even more stuff. So she's basically like, a 20th century weeb, just absolutely obsessed with like that time period. And so Cut to the next scene.
One of our first and most illustrious members. Allow me to welcome you to your parole hearing.
Back at the cryo-prison.
Yeah,
For
man.
some reason, randomly, Simon Phoenix is awakened from his deep freeze for his parole hearing. And
yeah, I love that that's a thing. Like, we still got to follow the law. I mean, yeah, we froze you against your fucking will, but hey, you're entitled to your parole hearing. So.
Imagine being unfrozen just for your parole, for your 15 to 30 minute or 1 hour parole hearing, and then you just go right back into cryo freeze. That is, however, not what happens here.
Mm-hmm.
He is out, and of course, every scene he's in is just absolutely chock full of hilarity. Future Chris could be clipping all his one-liners for literally weeks, man.
537-29. Stop it!
So, it is so funny,
dude. So when he's in this scene and he's doing everything, this really is a testament to watch the whole fucking movie, because there's a lot of shit in these next couple scenes that's happening with him where you're like, oh, he just fucking knows how to do that. Like, you know, like where you could definitely be saying that if you don't enjoy the fucking ride. Stop being a critic. Like, just enjoy the story, you know?
And actually, like, we've talked about all the, like, 90s tropes and everything, but it actually has a really good plot.
It does, yeah. It makes sense. Yeah, it makes complete sense. And this one was like, you know, he had to whip his ass, and he just beats the fucking shit out of everybody, and it gets gross real quick.
The guy that's doing the parole hearing, like, he's reading all of the bullshit or whatever, and as he's every time he says something, Phoenix repeats it, but in like a different language.
It's
great. And finally, the guy gets pissed. He's like, "Stop that!" And then he just gives this like wicked smile.
Stop that!
He's like a petulant child. He's just constantly.
He's just aggravating the shit out of that guy. And then the guy's like, "Do you have anything else to say?"
Yeah, I do. Teddy bear.
The code.
That's the safe words,
right?
Basically, to release his cuffs, so he gets out and kills everybody.
Yep, and he's got to get out and there's retinal scans to get out, and that fucking shit where he pulls the pin out.
Retina coding accepted, Warden William Smithers. Be well.
Yeah, you too.
Oh, dude.
That's awful, dude.
Yeah, so he's got this dude's eyeball on the end of he pen so he can use the retinal skin.
Pulls his, dude, it's good fucking cinema, man.
Man.
And now you've got a killer on the loose, and you have no fucking idea. You just assume this dude is just all that is badass. You still got questions, though. You're like, how do you know that fucking code? Like, you know he's a badass anyway. Like, he can fight. But, like, you're like, how do you know that code?
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, even, like, one of the guys asked, like, how did you know the code of the cuffs? And he's like, I wish I knew.
Yeah.
He can't even.
But you
really
also think maybe
it.
he's being, like, a fucking sarcastic asshole. You don't know. You know?
No, because he constantly bullshits every time he's on screen. He lies. And he just makes fun of everyone.
Yeah.
He does it. It's amazing.
To me, though, that's where you like start suspecting. Oh, there's something
bigger there.
There's something nefarious going on here.
Yeah. There is, right? And he immediately goes on a murderous rampage.
Yeah, how about
the warden.
When they said that? What does he say? He stole his conveyance.
He's my only means of conveyance. But I guess I do spoil him.
Clearly you do.
But that's what I thought of as soon as I heard that shit. Thank you, Family Guy. But, like,
me too.
That fucking doctor or that dude was in there fucking riding motorcycle to work, man. Good for you.
Dude, he was living the dream, dude. Everybody has a wild side,
I assume
bro.
that he was probably just freshly divorced, if that's still allowed in the future, and he was just, going through his midlife crisis.
Well, I mean, if it's a truly peaceful future, there is no marriage.
Amen to that.
They've legalized prostitution with.
I bet that tastes good.
Bring it back.
Yeah, there he is. Where's that guy been? I hadn't seen him in a. Oh shit!
Jesus Christ.
So the police watch helplessly on camera as Simon goes on a murdering spree.
Well,
like the computer like throws up the codes, right? Like 187. They're like, what is that?
Murder, death, kill.
Yep. Murder, death, kill.
Yeah.
Which there's a wrestler that does death matches. Nick Gage, I think is his name. And
is that on the dark web?
Basically, like they do all these like fucking crazy ass light bulbs and crazy shit. But anyway, his like shirt was like MDK, like, and then I heard like people chanting it in the crowd shit, and I was like from Demolition Man? Like, did you just straight rip Demolition Man?
I mean, that's what I would think, dude.
They did.
Well, well done, but I guess I'm the only one.
The police code is going off, and you're right. It's 187, and like the cops are so they haven't had like I think Huxley's the only one that sort of keeps her wits about her, and she's looking up like what 187 even is.
Right.
Yeah.
And I believe the computer tells the last time that there had been an MDK was like
16 years
or something like that. Yeah, it was like 20 something. Yes, like years ago, over a decade ago. The last time there was actually a murder anywhere in this area. So the police are just absolutely dumbfounded. They can't believe what's happening. As soon as one of the persons like dies on screen, Rob Schneider is like throws up into a bucket. Like you can't even believe it.
Warden William Smithers, born February 14th, 1967. Died August 4th, 2032.
Yeah, and it may be here or a little bit later on. He's like, "We're police officers. We're not equipped to handle things like this."
Yeah, no, like
it's right after this.
Like, but this too is like they start trying to go into police mode, and they track the vehicle or the means of conveyance. And like, so when they start tracking it, when they finally get it, like, okay, we got him tracked now, they're all like, yeah, like high-fiving, they're they're all stoked. They're stoked about it because they're like, we've got him now.
Yeah, they figure out that he's stolen one of the doctors, like his dick mobile. Like,
yeah, dude,
it looks
whatever
like
that car is.
Yeah, what was that SNL bit about the something gay duo?
The ambiguously gay duo.
Yeah,
Gary and
it was Ace and Gary.
Ace and Gary.
It looks like their dick mobile, man.
Dude. So he's on Ace and Gary's dick mobile, and he goes downtown to I guess they just have open kiosk computers because I guess people aren't masturbating anymore, so they don't have to worry about that anymore. So like he just goes, Wesley Snipes character pulls up. He's like, all right, man, and he just starts typing. And you're like, what the fuck is going on?
There's a dude there getting like psychiatric help, like. This thing's it's basically doing the wasn't it Phil Hartman that did the I'm good enough?
No, that was Stuart Smalley. That was
Smalley. It was
shit. He was a politician. I don't
know. Well, fuck it. Anyway, that's what this little
Al Franken.
That's it.
I got it.
Basically, that's what this little kiosk is doing. It's like telling this guy, you're good enough, you're smart enough, and doggone it, people like you.
People like you, man. And he just really snatches that dude from the backside and shows him how Death Row pull off that hoop ride.
He grabs him by his pussy and throws him down.
He's like, get out of here.
He's like, get out of here. But yeah, so they think they have him cornered, and I love that. Like when the police go up, they're having. Like it's like they're using a procedure to follow like what they're supposed to do, and they have someone on the other end like reading to them like
it's like a
program, right? Yeah.
That's
right. That's what I mean. Yeah. So
and I laughed at this last night too because like at first I was like, it's so ridiculous that they're looking at this little device in their hand that's showing them how to do stuff, and I'm like, God damn, I'll look at YouTube when I need to like change a tire or whatever.
And with AI now you can converse like they are. You can tell them like, hey, what's this or what's that?
Yeah.
And like like they're trying to, and fuck. What's Wesley Snipes' character's name again?
Simon Phoenix.
So Phoenix is ignoring Phoenix is ignoring them. And ignoring their commands until the app tells him
approach and repeat ultimatum in an even firmer tone of voice. Add the words or else.
And that's the one where it's like.
Well, it's important that we say too that I guess before the cops get there, as he's typing that kiosk, he has like all this knowledge to like break into all these like different like databases.
He's hacking,
and he's like, damn, I'm like a man possessed.
Yeah, I know. Like he doesn't understand why he's doing it or why he knows all this shit he knows. But they say or else, and then it's fucking game on. And doesn't he fry somebody on the anti-graffiti thing too? Like
he hacks into the anti-graffiti electrical,
and you get a fucking classic Wesley Snipes line.
Lucky number 7.
So I want to ask you guys something. We were watching this last night, and the guy comes running at him, and I go, "Olay!" And then the guy, he spins around and knocks the guy up, whatever, and then he goes, "Olay!" And my wife goes, "That's ridiculous. How long has it been since you've seen this movie?" Do you guys like? Do you guys? Is that a guy thing? Like, is it
what that you remembered it?
Yeah, because she said that, and then like he whips some more people's ass, and then he does a little like the old style like boxing with a guy, and as he's doing that, I go, "Stupid," and then he knocks that guy out, and he goes, "Stupid."
Yeah, I think we all annoyingly do. That's why it sucks to watch movies with us.
Yeah, that's why we literally have to hang out with each other and start a podcast so that we can do this. We can do this in peace
without people. So what you're saying is there's something wrong with her, not
exactly.
Me.
Of course, clearly that's what I'm saying.
Also,
absolutely,
side note, you have a keeper. Don't fuck that up.
But as Chris mentioned, Simon absolutely beats he beats the absolute brakes off of all the police officers easily. They don't have any combat training, to match anything that Simon Phoenix.
But goddamn, their arteries are clean as fuck with that diet.
Dude, meat's banned, dude. Meat is murder here in the future, dude.
Oh, well, maybe that's why they can't beat anybody's ass. They're all pussies.
Yeah.
And so we can't forget, though, there is a moment like where Simon Phoenix is on the kiosk and he hears a voice in his head.
Friendly, friendly. Don't you have a job to do? Don't you have someone to kill? Someone to kill?
Kill Edgar Friendly, who we remember is one of the dirty guys with a periscope, sort of the sewer rat looking guys.
He's one of the dirty jobs guys. Hey, when are they gonna have prostitutes on that show? Isn't that the dirtiest job?
All right, all right, Norm Macdonald. And so he shakes it off. He shakes that off, beats these cops up, and it escapes into the city.
This is good too. Like again, going back and watching it back to back, which I like to do a lot of times when I have time when we're doing these movies.
Yeah,
is you pick up so much more. Like you see like these seeds that are planted throughout this entire fucking thing. Like it's so good, man.
It is really, really good. And basically you get to the point where the police are like at their wits end, but right before, and this is like what Shattuck was saying about the plot, and I want to like really hammer this in for those of you who haven't seen this film. And I know a lot of times this, especially when it came out, this just got like lambasted as another Stallone action film. This is far and away beyond like the majority of action films you're going to see. And one of the reasons is because of the scene coming up.
Well, the whole thing is like society and political satire, really.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
I mean, it's the elites versus the common folk.
But I mean, that's like, I mean, that's a tale as old as time, but also like the little breadcrumb trails they sprinkle throughout this, really, it's a more complex plot than it gets credit for.
At this point, like, I mean, anybody that's paying attention is starting to catch on. Like, someone has somehow like uploaded information to this guy.
But you probably don't even know what uploading is at that point. You just know that he's been corrupted somehow,
and he's got abilities that he shouldn't have.
Right.
And so like Simon Phoenix is being helped by somebody, and we get this scene, and like to me, this is what, in my opinion, this is a more important, even deeper sort of underlying plot that the film says beyond a lot of other things, is there's a scene we finally get to meet Dr. Raymond Cocteau, the guy who's responsible for this utopia that he's built, and he's given a speech to a bunch of video screens.
Dude, which how fucking ironic is that one? Man?
Yeah,
it's a Zoom call.
Yep, exactly.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, it is literally what we would know as a Zoom call to all these people. This is super futuristic.
Dude.
Each person has their own screen instead of everybody being like in windows like we are.
And
right
he's
now,
treating
right?
it. He's treating it. I did like that they treat it like a real meeting. So he's moving and making eye contact with the individual screens as if you would, like a manager would in a real movie.
Yes.
And the screens can move. So when he's pacing, they can follow him down, follow him
Yes.
back. I thought that was a good fucking touch. Now, it's not what it is now. Now it's just three dudes jerking off on a podcast and sponsor our podcast.
Have you guys seen that video? It's like a Zoom meeting or maybe it was like an online class or something. And this girl is just getting like railed from behind.
It to us.
Oh, okay.
We saw it together, dude.
Okay, good. How was?
Yeah, no, you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it was a class.
Yeah,
but
it's not nice.
I don't know why that pops up in my feed, but
anyway, Leaf, continue with your shit.
So very briefly, I won't put a lot of time on this, but basically what Dr. Raymond Cocteau says is there came a point in society where people got so fed up with all of the violence, all of the uncertainty, that they basically just gave up all of their freedoms. And he says it. His motto is safety above all. And that's how you ended up in this situation. And what the movie, in essence, says, one of the underlying things is this sort of sanitized society is what you get when you give up all of your freedoms, no matter what you think about gun control or alcohol or pornography or all the things that we necessarily deem bad.
All the things that we love.
Oh, good. You mean no fun?
What happens is you lose freedom, and that's basically what happens. You trade freedom for safety,
for
and
comfort.
This is the kind of for comfort, and this is what kind of authoritarian society can come from all of that. Now, obviously, this movie is in its extremes, but that's what the movie's trying to say. It's like, okay, this is what happens when you give up everything to try to be safe. You gave away that world that John Spartan came from.
Simon Phoenix is an old-fashioned criminal. We need an old-fashioned cop.
Desperate, the San Angeles authorities are tasked by Dr. Raymond Cocteau to stop this maniac Simon Phoenix at all costs. And what do? Well, they decide to thaw out and reinstate one John Spartan, a.k.a. the Demolition Man.
Send a maniac to catch a maniac.
Yeah,
that's right.
The theme of this movie. So this is always the funny, like, whose idea was it to thaw him out in this movie? Because I don't even really remember.
So I can tell you, it is Sandra Bullock's idea, but I know the police chief is sort of like, he doesn't really want to do this.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's Sandra Bullock quotes one of the lines in the film that it is within judicial purview, so it is within the police's powers to thaw out any one of the criminals and offer them like sort of an early parole. Gotcha. And so that's what they do, provided obviously that John Spartan, aka Demolition Man, is able to complete the tasks with which they set upon him. You guys had to laugh at they're doing research before they decide to thaw him out.
Dude, yes.
And there's this fucking clip.
It's one of my favorites where he's carrying the girl out. Dude. Yeah, so yeah, they're looking back at all these clips and it's like a mainstream media thing where he's carrying this girl out, and this reporter comes up, female reporter, and she's like,
how can you justify destroying a $7 million mini mall to rescue a girl whose ransom was only $25,000?
Fuck you, lady.
Dude, whoever
one of my favorite parts of the whole movie.
Whoever fucking threw that in here, kudos to you. Sponsor our podcast.
So funny, man.
That shit is amazing. Yeah, that scene got me out loud too, because I totally forgot about that. Because honestly, we saw it in theaters, but I think the majority of the times that I watched this probably would have been on TNT, whatever.
Oh,
like
yeah.
USA here and there.
The rewatches were 100% not on DVD or on VHS.
I was gonna say I had the VHS of this.
Oh, sweet.
Like wore it out.
But
dude, this is such
so
a good
now
movie.
it's time, for Spartan to be awakened.
Yeah,
and he's gonna get thawed out.
And
all
cut
Sparta. And all
cut him out of the ice.
His naked fucking glory.
Got a beautiful body, man.
Man has a beautiful body.
He's got a beautiful body,
dude.
I guess this laser thing that cuts him out of the ice, like it cuts right down to the cock hair.
Yeah, I guess so, man.
It's really precise, dude. And he gets awakened, and immediately he realizes he's coming to, and this I feel like a lesser man would have cracked. Like he's in the future, 30 something years, like 37, however long, 36 years into the future.
Yeah. So I guess she tells him now, but it's supposed to be in the year 2032.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're not too far, guys.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking too. Because he was supposed to be thawed in like 40 something or 47 or some shit like that. I can't remember. But like he does, he wakes up and then or they woke him up and then he finds out kind of where he is and what's going on, and more importantly, like he's worried. He's like realizing, dude, like my fucking family's gone.
Yeah,
like,
he asks about his wife,
and
Sandra Bullock's character Huxley is basically like, your wife died, and the big one, evidently in 2010 there was a massive earthquake.
Yeah, it was the Dwayne the Rock Johnson. It's called San Andreas. He wasn't able to save her, but he saved Alexandra Daddario. Thank God.
Oh man,
thank God, dude.
She. So Lex Luthor didn't hit the San Andreas fault with a missile, and
that's what I immediately thought, dude. It's like San Andreas,
bye California.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and you assume maybe that's why all of these that was part of what happened to create this sort of utopian society that they live in. Is it's just all this turmoil. John Spartan asks also about his daughter. And her status is, of course, unknown. I wonder deep down if perhaps they were trying to like set up something for a sequel.
I do have something at the very end of this we'll talk about.
Okay.
So the police chief, was he the warden from like Shawshank Redemption?
Shawshank Redemption. Yeah. Yes, he was.
Yeah, fuck
and
that
one
guy.
of the other cops too was one of the dudes from Ace Ventura, one of the guys that gets killed. Like I noticed too. Yeah, like he's one of the assistants of the Dolphins. I was like, I heard his voice and I was like, oh shit, it's that dude. But like you also find out now, smoking, alcohol, eating, drinking, fucking, everything is outlawed in the future. Yeah, you can't
every
cuss.
single thing.
Well, I mean, and then like he didn't have what I felt was missing from when he was like reanimated was
evacuation complete. Evacuation complete.
So that clip will definitely be making an appearance talking about him thawing out.
He does go to the bathroom, and that's where we get like the most infamous joke.
I'm happy that you're happy, but the place where you're supposed to have the toilet paper, you got this little shelf with 3 seashells on it.
Of this movie that everyone quotes to this very day. I don't know why everyone's obsessed with this because it's just a throwaway.
Dude,
but everyone's because I guess it's a mystery, right?
Dude, it has been brought up to like Stallone and all these like fucking interviews. I mean, he's answered it here and there, but I mean, the reality is like we don't fucking know. Like they don't know.
Well, Sandra Bullock actually said what it was.
She did.
She don't know.
Exactly.
So there were. The way this came about was the writer was stuck, so he called his buddy, and
yes, that's true.
And he's like, "Do you have any ideas? Like what's in your bathroom?" And the guy, I think maybe he like lived in Florida or something. He's like, "We got like seashells in our bathroom."
Yep.
And
that was it. Right?
Yeah. So he leaves it ambiguous, like you don't know what they actually do.
Mm-hmm.
But there were a couple of theories. One of them was that like 2 of them were used.
That's what Stallone said, to collect, right?
Yeah, to like basically pull the excrement out.
Right.
And then the third one was to like scrape any residue. Sandra Bullock said they're basically buttons for a bidet, which I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, because I mean, unless everybody in the future has a calloused butthole, like that would get a little rough.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, I mean, I guess they'd be all solid poops though with their diet. No disease, no cholesterol, no booze.
Oh yeah, and all that plant-based protein that Shabak loves, dude. You're right about that. Clean poops.
Well, why is Otho fat as fuck then?
Listen,
well, the elites don't have to listen. The elites don't have to listen, man.
They don't listen to that nonsense, dude.
Yeah. So we went back into like medieval times where the rich people were fat as fuck.
Yes. Spartan is immediately partnered with Lenina Huxley and another officer, Alfredo Garcia, and he is basically tasked with, of course, tracking.
Latino.
Who knows? It's Latino. We're going for
it. Is he the same guy that was in Miss Congeniality with her?
I can't remember. I don't know if that's the same guy.
I don't think so. I think you just did a racism.
Yeah. You did a quick racism.
You did a quick racism. That's okay though.
It's fine.
Thanks a lot, you shit.
John Spartan, you are fined. John Spartan, you are John Spartan, you are fined twice for repeated violations of the verbal morality statute.
So much for the seashells.
Spartan is tasked with tracking down Simon Phoenix, defeating him, putting him back in Cryo-Prison where he belongs, or he himself will be summarily returned to Cryo-Prison. That is the terms of his release. So they team up. Latinx guy, Huxley, and Spartan all go after him, which leads us to the scene of their first confrontation. Phoenix arrives looking for guns, obviously,
right. And
banned, of course.
Spartan is they're like, where's he going to go? We don't know where he's going to go because he's not chipped, so they can't track him.
They can't track him with the technology.
And he's like, where are your fucking guns at? And they're like,
their AI basically like is trying to predict where he's going to go, and and they're talking about like him, like trying to set up a
new crime syndicate,
whatever. And he's like, well, excuse me, but that's pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Which by the way, the AI was correct, but it got it out of order because that's exactly the second thing he does when he gets the guns. So it wasn't that far off. I always thought that was a neat little thing.
Yeah, that is.
But Spartan was right too. Like he knows he's going for a gun, so the only place that has a gun is the museum.
You are now entering the armory exhibit. You will find displays.
So sorry.
Various weapons used.
Oh, dude, look, this is another like laugh out loud for me last night when I was watching this, where like he walks in and this guy is like standing next to one of the displays, and he just walks up and just fucking bangs his head against the glass, knocks him out.
One side red.
Yeah. Just beats him for no reason.
And then he does the so sorry.
Yeah.
And there's some Asian people like in the museum, and he does this whole like, just clip it in for me.
Of 2010. Specific information concerning objects.
Yeah, Leaf has that in his notes that not before making fun of some Asian people before he walks by.
Yeah, I don't know why he has to do that. That always made my sister like bust out laughing. She's like, "Why does he do that? There's no reason. Those people weren't doing anything. They were just walking by him. He just like does a racism
because he's an evil maniac."
Yeah,
he is. He absolutely is. And yes, this was even
comedic timing.
Yes, and this was mega offensive even in 1993 when this was released. Y'all don't get it twisted. Wesley Snipes is just built different, and so he breaks into the weapons cache and arms himself with a bunch of old school and new school weapons.
Look, here's one more thing that kind of bugged me. Like everything's behind glass, right?
Yeah,
and I assume it's like ballistics glass or whatever. But he punches it. He's trying to get to the gun, so he punches his glass. He kicks the shit out of it.
God damn, what a beautiful kick!
Yeah,
beautiful.
And then this guy like comes up and I guess he works at the museum maybe or whatever. Yes. And Snipes is like, "How much do you weigh?" So he picks the guy up and throws him through the glass. It makes no fucking sense to me. Like, you're not going to hit the glass harder when you're like picking up a full-grown human.
To you, because you haven't had physics programmed in your brain while you were cryogenically
frozen. Remember you're stronger though.
So I said that last night, and Christy's like, well, maybe it's just because like he's putting more weight against the glass. And I was like, I don't think you understand how future glass works.
She's like, let me get this straight, honey. Them being cryogenically frozen 40 years in the future, you're game with. But when they broke ballistic glass with a museum worker, that's where you drew the fucking line.
Yeah.
Don't you? Yeah. Yeah.
Makes sense to me, dude.
Yeah.
I'm with you,
You always carry a puck around with you?
Yeah.
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 But dude, this scene is fucking, again, there's several of these fight scenes throughout this. This one is
good.
And what's the futuristic gun he has where it has like a charge on it?
It's like a particle accelerator, but it's got a charge before you.
So he's got to wait, and he says something about him not being patient. So then he's like grabbing all this. So it's just another shootout, but man, it's fun.
So let me get this right. They defrosted you just so you could lasso my piddly ass. Damn, you been had.
It is such a good scene.
I mean, thankfully for him, they had a shit ton of ammo with all the
no joke.
Yes.
all the weapons,
guns and the ammo were together because I mean, why? Like, no one would think to do violence. This is
right. This is what happens when HR runs your society.
It is. It's perfect.
You're bad, and you should feel bad.
You can't have sex, but it's worth it because there's no guns or any bad things whatsoever. Also, this scene is really good because this is the first time that Spartan and Phoenix see each other. After both being unfrozen, and like that's when one of my favorite lines in the scene, at least, is Phoenix yelling at Spartan before he starts shooting at him. He's like,
Spartan? John Spartan? Oh shit! They let anybody into this century. What the hell are you doing here?
Yeah, and they fight it out. They shoot it out. It's just a good action scene all around. Long story short, Simon Phoenix does manage to get away. And
this is a big plot point here, right?
Big plot point happens as he's escaping. As Simon Phoenix is escaping out of the gun museum, he runs up upon none other than leader of the society, Raymond Cocteau, is right in front of him, and Simon Phoenix pulls out a gun, basically puts it right to his head, and he just, despite his best efforts, can't pull the trigger on him.
He's got that prime directive number 4 in there.
Yep.
Something it is.
He can't kill that dude.
Yep.
Yeah. And so Raymond Cocteau walks up to him and is basically like,
Isn't there a thought repeating in that barbaric brain of yours? The name Friendly. Mr. Edgar Friendly. Don't you have someone to kill?
Now it all starts to make sense.
It's starting to make sense. Simon's like, yeah, there is somebody I got to kill. Anyways, I'm out of here because right behind him is, of course, the Demolition Man in hot pursuit. And he runs, Simon Phoenix runs into the bushes and disappears. But the Demolition Man is basically like, yo, I can't believe, Simon didn't put a bullet between your eyes.
Oh, yeah. Well, Spartan's also like, I can't possibly jump through this bush and chase him anymore.
Yeah.
Well, he was just so tired.
Well,
there was an innocent.
I guess it furthers the plot.
He was hungover. He was hungover from all that clean living.
Yeah. Also, there was an innocent victim he had to tend to potentially. Yeah. So, I mean, Raymond Cocteau was tragically, almost murdered by this maniac, but he managed to get away.
Simon Phoenix knows he has some competition. He's finally matched his meat. You really licked his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and so of course you do what you always do in this situation. You reward the hero for saving your life with a delicious.
I would like you to accompany me to Taco Bell.
Yeah, which this kind of gets a bad rap, but this is fucking explained pretty well in this.
Oh, it's excellent, dude. And
which is excellent.
We need to mention this is the point where the movies or versions of the movie sort of divulge.
Correct.
There is so originally the Raymond Cocteau invites Demolition Man and Sandra Bullock to Taco Bell.
Right.
And this is the future.
They survived the fast food wars, right?
The fast food wars.
Franchise wars.
Franchise wars.
Wars. And Sandra Bullock basically explains that Taco Bell was so successful that all restaurants are now Taco Bell.
Right.
Like, that's how successful.
Yeah, but it's not Taco Bell as we know it. It's like there's every restaurant, instead of being like, I'm going to go to the restaurant, you're going to the Taco Bell. Like, Taco Bell has now taken the place of the word restaurant, right? So it's not Taco Bell. Like, they're not getting a fucking 7-layer burrito in there, despite Spartan's best wishes.
Considering
what we found out in our extensive research is that Taco Bell is a subsidiary of Pizza Hut.
Right.
And globally, Pizza Hut is a much bigger franchise than Taco Bell.
Yep.
So outside of the United States,
it was Pizza Hut.
Yes, this scene was a Pizza Hut instead of a Taco Bell.
So what's funny is they actually, and I think that they're only establishing shots, which are just shots that are right before, dialogue or the actors are in it. So it's not super hard to do. But they filmed it with the Taco Bell logo, then they changed it to Pizza Hut, and they filmed it with the Pizza Hut logo.
Sometimes Johnny masturbates to
to establishing shots.
He actually climaxes to an establishing shot.
He's trying to beat off to Lori Loughlin.
Somebody put me back in the fridge.
Something about this doesn't sit right with me. So if we're wrong in the comments, please by all means correct us. But there are two versions of this film, despite whichever one you get. Like originally in the American release in the theater, it was Taco Bell won the fast food franchise wars. But in the version that I just recently watched, it was Pizza Hut. Did either of y'all get the Taco Bell version?
Yeah,
I watched Taco.
I got Taco Bell version. I thought.
I've only seen the Taco Bell version.
All right, so online, if you go on and you find other versions of this and streamed versions, you could get either one, I believe. So I'd be interested. Yeah, the one I watched was Pizza Hut, which really upset me because I remember the Taco Bell version, and that's one I wanted to see. So interestingly enough,
wasn't there something in like the late 90s, early 2000s that said there was a certain amount of horse meat in Taco Bell's?
Well, that was disproven. But
that was disproven, but it was.
But no, I think that
not that horse meat's bad for you.
I mean, people in Japan eat it all the time. I'm gonna be honest with you.
They actually do.
Yeah, but this was.
I bet it's stringy.
But this is basically, like I said,
like the barbecue at Bees.
All right.
This is basically like Taco Bell has just superseded the word restaurant. So it's a restaurant serving regular ass fucking healthy food, but it's just.
But the thing is what they do. So they go to the restaurant.
Yeah.
They get the little chips.
Valley of the Jolly Green Giant.
Dude, how about this? You know who was playing the fucking piano?
No,
Dan Cortez.
Dan Cortez is playing the fucking piano. Yeah,
I didn't recognize him. No.
I saw that shit last night.
I was like, holy shit. I actually had to look it up because I was like, I know who that is. Who is that? And I had to look it up. And he was a handsome dude, man. He was he was fun. I don't know. I dug it. But also I got a note here. The dress that Sandra Bullock's wearing in this weighed 40 fucking pounds.
Because of the rhinestones and all that stuff on it?
Yeah, it weighed 40 pounds. And so it actually ripped. And so I think it's later on in the scene on the side. Don't get crazy. But it ripped, and so her arms are at her side during some of the dialogue later on because the actual dress had ripped. But yeah, 40 fucking pounds.
Wow.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they do go to the Taco Bell gala hosted by Raymond Cocteau. They have their little weird chips and appetizers. Sandra Bullock's there.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a high end restaurant.
It does.
It looks like a sushi restaurant or something.
Yeah. And what is it? He says he's like, good thing I'm hungry or whatever because they bring him like 6 chips.
Yes. It's so funny.
Accoutrement on it.
And the joke obviously was like even back then, like the joke was like obviously if somebody's like, I'm gonna take you to Taco Bell, you'd be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, you know, because it's like a garbage restaurant from our time. But like Chris said, all the restaurants have been replaced, so it's something fancy. It means something different. Once there at the gala, unfortunately though, Raymond does mistakenly ask John what he thinks about his new Utopia, and that is a huge mistake because John Spartan doesn't pull any punches.
Nah, man.
And he basically tells him that it's garbage. It's like
Captain Sano shows no mercy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and neither did John Spartan. And he also mentions he thinks, basically like, you know, a freedomless society is not one to live in at all, which sparks a philosophical debate because he asks a really important question. It's like, okay, like, would you rather have like the dystopian past that you came from? And, you know, his answer is basically like, well, some of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, not everything is bad from
He's like
about freedom.
What? And well,
yes.
He also points out something that nobody knew.
Yes.
That when he was frozen, he was trapped in his own thoughts.
I don't want to spoil your dinner, pal, but my cryo sentence was no sweet lullaby. I had feelings and I had thoughts. How about a 36-year nightmare about people caught in a burning building?
Like he was still thinking. And
he could see his wife banging on the ice.
Right. Dude. And like he was in his own fucking brain for 30-something years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like being in a coma for fucking 30 years.
That. You know why?
Yeah.
Sick thoughts.
I know. Like,
dude, and you can't escape. Even if you wanted things to end, you have no freedom. Like you're stuck.
Dude, I'd be like that Metallica video for one, and it's just signaling "kill me, kill me."
Listen, kids, if you've never seen the video for Metallica's one, watch it right before you go to sleep.
That's a great idea. And then Enter Sandman is dessert.
Yeah,
just like
dessert.
Go ahead.
That'll do it for you, man. But anyway, so yeah, you find that line fucked me up more than anything from this. I don't really remember thinking about that watching it originally. And when he talked, maybe it's just being old. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, like what a fucking nightmare. Like
Well, I think it's just natural that as you get older, you get more cynical. Yeah. So can you imagine like our cynical asses trapped in our own fucking heads for 30 years?
Yeah, but also being frozen doesn't work that way. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, they
had to be at negative 196.
Yeah,
exactly. And when they put him in, don't forget when they put him into the cryo freezing, they put on these little like computer synapses,
right. Yeah,
and so I mean maybe that made his consciousness more aware. And I think I agree with both of what you said though.
We got to remember to add that to our whiskey ball.
Yeah, those little metal.
I want to be screen accurate.
Yeah,
right. I think that I remember that scene when I was younger, but I don't think it affected me like it did now. Looking back on my life,
that was
terrifying
having, to me. Like listening,
years behind,
that was terrifying.
It pretty much messed me up too the second time because I was like, okay, and now I'm like, or I don't know, the millionth time I've seen it recently that. I was like, wow, actually being trapped. And Sandra Bullock is horrified because it's under her understanding that these people are
no, that's
asleep.
not how it works. Yeah, they're asleep. You're not, and she's, but nope, he can. And
turns out all those prisoners are basically being tortured. And she'd be like, you go insane. And just kind of goes to show you, what kind of mental strength that John Spartan had to make it through that. And basically right in that moment, the sewer people attack.
Yeah. What were they called in the X-Men?
I got it. The Morlocks.
Yeah, the Morlocks. Yeah, that's
it.
These dudes are basically the Morlocks.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I just looked it up, just just for comparison to how we are, health wise. Stallone was 46 years old in this movie.
God damn it. Stop doing that.
Can you not do that, man? I appreciate you.
I gotta start doing some crunches. I don't understand what I'm doing different that's leading this to.
I don't know. Why are we so? Why the hell
I don't understand.
Are we not? How are we not equal to Stallone? I can't figure it out for the life of me, dude. Like,
Shadwick's like, goodbye.
God.
Goodbye. Dude, so yeah, this is when the Morlocks show up. I'm glad I got that one out.
Thank you.
Morlocks.
Yeah. So anyway, they show up and because he sees the motorcycle.
I was thinking Mennonites.
Yeah.
God damn, are they fast?
Yeah.
They attack a shipment. They attack a shipment of food, but John Spartan doesn't know this. He rushes to stop them.
He's fighting them. He's fucking them up.
Beating them up, dude. Yeah, they try to like attack him, and
he catches them in the PE like parachute thing.
Yeah, he does, man. Dude.
Yeah. And he's
shout out our
beating
recess episode.
Shout out. He's beating one of them up, and basically one of the characters is like,
it's fucking bam loud.
Looks like there's a new shepherd in town.
That sheriff. Who are those guys?
He's beating them loud, dude. And one of them's like, please, mercy. And then like he drops like a thing of food. And it's just sad.
And he sees it. And then like all the fucking dots are connected in his brain. And he's like,
hurting people's not a good thing. Well, sometimes it is, but not when it's a bunch of people looking for something to eat.
These aren't criminals.
Starving.
Yeah, these aren't criminals. These people are fucking starving. So.
No, and he can't believe it, and he has a final argument with Raymond Cocteau, who now we understand is just a sort of an authoritarian maniac.
Which is weird, because I've never known anybody to have power go to their head and be evil. That's weird.
Power and control, dude.
I mean, it's not like absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah, I've never ever seen that ever. So that's weird.
That would be weird, dude. But you know who is who is absolutely enthralled and just absolutely moist with excitement? Sandra Bullock's character.
I think the word you're looking for is engorged.
Yeah, she's engorged. Yeah,
dude, she is absolutely turned on by all this action. She doesn't care about.
I remember this shit vividly too. Like, as talk about watching your first like rated R movie.
Yes,
in theaters at least, and then she would just like, "Do you want to have sex?" And I'm like, oh, shit, is that how it works?
I mean,
so it's like one day, is that gonna happen? I'm just gonna go to a girl's house and she's gonna be like, "Oh, that was a lot of fun. We had fun playing basketball. Do you want to have sex now?" And be like, "Oh, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
Thank
you. God damn it, thank you."
And then and then the girl's like, "Here, put this on."
Yeah.
And
a condom.
That's pretty accurate.
That is pretty accurate. She's like, "Put this on," and I'm like Mac from Always Sunny. And I'm like, "Oh, I don't do the condom thing."
And I'm like, no condoms forever.
Yeah. But yeah, so she's like, and so, you know, Spartan's like, dude, fuck yeah, like this young girl probably in her 20s. Yeah. You know.
My wife's dead. I can go for some sex.
Yeah, looks good in yoga pants.
Yeah, dude, like and then she's gonna go get ready, and he's just like, hell yeah. And then she comes back with this fucking headgear. And then he's like, "You want to see my headgear?" And I'm like, "He's like, what the?"
Damn, Mom, I got my headgear on.
Yeah, dude. So then she's just like, puts it on. He's got to put it on.
Why, dude?
And he's like, "What is this?" Oh,
yeah.
This is sex.
And then it just starts like they start. This is what I remember from my childhood is the fucking flashes of her. Like smiling, like up close or whatever, like the moans
she's got
and
the
shit.
Slutty lipstick on. Dude, I remember that.
You know what? It's a lot like that the scene in Fight Club.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is.
It's just like the flashes of smiles and titties.
Yep.
And there's moaning.
But there's no titties, but it's just flashes, and it's just like flash, 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 and then he's like. What the? Because he's like, dude, I'm so humiliated. I'm about to blow my load.
There's a moment where he kind of gets into it. Like, he's kind of like, oh. And
then he's just like, I'm not going to, dude, I'm wearing pants. Like, dude, new pants. He doesn't want the new pants to be ruined.
He doesn't, dude. He's got the.
Ew, disgusting. You mean fluid transfer?
I mean, Bodie, the wild mambo, the hunka chunka.
That is no longer done.
And you go in another level of deep lore that she's like, fluid transfer is outlawed. And he's like, I'm trying to do the hunka chunka, man. Like, what are you? The only thing I'm trying to bone.
And she names off a bunch of diseases like.
The rampant exchange of bodily fluids was one of the major reasons for the downfall of society. After AIDS, there was NRS. After NRS, there was UBT.
Dude, this whole time she's like saying all that stuff, and you're just like, yeah, of course you guys don't want to do it. You call it fluid transfer. Like, what? Like fucking? Like, let's go back to that. Like, that's way better,
bro. It's like. Yeah, you're not going to catch anything if you're facing the opposite direction.
Yeah. So we find out, just like Shabak said earlier, we find out just how castrated society is that because he's like, well, what if you want to like have children? She's like, you go to a lab, like, and you basically get artificially inseminated. So even sex,
dude, that's crazy. Actually, I think
bad.
I have live footage of what happened about 5 minutes later.
She was masturbating.
Well. Especially after he goes back to his apartment and he gets the accidental video call from the girl with.
Oh yeah,
dude, she had some melons, dude.
Hi, Martin. I was thinking. Oh my God, I'm sorry, wrong number.
But on the Laserdisc, he does mini Laserdisc. He does find out that Raymond Cocteau's story isn't all that it was cracked up to be when he faced
the footage, and then he's got the audio on the footage, which is, I mean, God, I couldn't imagine living in a society where you're being videotaped at every fucking turn. Like, what a nightmare that would be.
So basically, Raymond Cocteau, his story is basically a lie. It's obvious that he's not telling the truth. He should have been shot in the head, 9 seconds ago.
Yep.
Before, not 10 seconds, like as it took Simon that long to decide whether he wanted to kill him or not. It's all coming together. Cocteau is this sort of authoritarian monster. And we're starting to realize he's probably behind Simon getting out of the prison. To what degree, could be debated still at this point in time. He hasn't completely admitted it, but
thank God, as he's watching this, he's wrapping yarn around his elbow.
He is,
which is a cool thing too. I really enjoyed this part. So it starts explaining that while they're in this cryogenically frozen, they're being reprogrammed, basically, right? Like hobbies, non-violent things or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, which leads him to be like, I don't know why, because he knits her like a sweater. He doesn't understand why he knows how to do this.
It's his apology gift for the sexual intercourse fluid comment earlier that night.
For me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
She hugged it. She was happy. But yeah, so then he starts thinking like, okay, if I was programmed with that, like, what was Phoenix programmed with? And then they fucking start hacking his files. They get it open. And they're like, oh, so this has been planned, and he's been programmed with all this shit. That's why he can access all the computers. That's why he knows what he's doing, where he's going, like at who he's killing.
And Spartan says that he's 3 times stronger than he was when he went in.
Yeah.
So the next major plot point, Simon Phoenix meets with Dr. Cocteau, and we find out, of course, he is indeed the one who secretly engineered him to be this killing machine, and he wants to use Simon to eliminate Edgar Friendly, the leader of the resistance group that lives under the ground. And it's basically Cocteau's last sort of barrier to total control.
Yeah, once they're gone, that's it, right?
That's it. That's the last vestiges of people trying to live in utter and complete freedom. Once that happens, Raymond will be in complete control. But Simon, of course, has other plans. To complete his mission, he actually requests Raymond's help in unfreezing some more nefarious criminals from the Cryo-Prison, so he could start to form a new gang and better complete that job. So
and how short-sighted is that dude that he can't see if I like unfreeze these guys,
they're not brainwashed.
Throw off these guys that aren't brainwashed.
Yep.
They don't have Prime Directive number 4 that they can't kill me.
Yep.
It's just. It just goes to show you that when you try to centrally plan everything,
and turns out all the leaders in the world, turns out not all of them are smart. or
not
any of them.
Yeah, you have certain knowledges about certain things,
Right.
but there's always something you don't know. There's an angle you can't see.
Sometimes common sense slides by these higher ups.
Sometimes they come back.
Mm-hmm.
And so the John Spartan and Lenina Huxley decide to confront Raymond Cocteau about his potential underdealings with Simon, and it goes about as well as you would imagine. Demolition Man starts shooting a bunch of the screens up and just blowing the place up for no reason to try to intimidate.
Call him Demolition Man and expect him to go in there and clean. I mean, let's just be honest.
Yeah, and so Raymond basically orders him back to his cryo-prison. He's like, your usefulness is at an end. I don't need your help anymore to capture Simon. And Lenina has a choice whether to bring him back to the cryo-prison or continue to help him. And, of course, she does.
It's that fluid exchange. She's a little curious now.
She's a little fluid curious.
Yeah.
It does sound very slippery.
Yeah. It does, and she wants a little bit of that.
Let's go blow this guy.
So she decides to help.
Just a little bit.
She decides to help John Spartan. And his next step is to go and meet with the resistance. He's trying to figure out,
dude, I love this scene. You know what this reminded me of? This reminded me of Fremont Street in Las Vegas. Like,
oh my god! Dude.
So it's like when you're at when you're us and you're at like regular Las Vegas, when we were in like Caesar's Palace and all these other places, and we were like, we don't belong here. And then when I went to Fremont Street, I was like, my people. Thank God. Like that's when he goes in the sewer. I'm like, my people. Yes.
Or where you got some lady just like yelling at the clouds, like,
dude, yeah.
I told them they didn't listen. I told them.
And I'm like, dude, just they got fucking beer. They've got which you find out is a delicious hamburger. He can't wait. It's the most delicious thing he's had. And then he finds out not so much ham in the burger.
It's a
rata burger. But you know what? I do like that he just fucking like goes with it. He's like,
this is a rat burger. Not bad.
It cuts to the next scene, like they're walking off, and he's done.
He's eating the whole thing,
shoveling the whole thing in his mouth.
He kills it.
But I tell you what I liked about that scene is how, I don't know if he's like this in real life or not, or if he's just a good actor, how genuine he is to the lady, like, or how he seems like just a nice, normal dude. Like, it seems
coolest guy, man.
Yeah, it just.
I want to believe he's that guy.
Yeah, that's me too. But like, so anyway, so then they're in the sewer now, and they're with the Morlocks, and now they figured out what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, they realize the truth that these guys that were trying to steal food are actually the resistance. They're trying to oppose Cocteau's oppressive laws, and because of that, they're basically relegated to scavenging for food, rat burgers, whatever they can eat. And the reason you ask yourself why you would do that is because if you go to the surface, you have to live under this oppressive, authoritarian, totalitarian regime, or do you want to like have absolute freedom? And that came at a horrible cost.
Let me ask you guys that. You've got complete safety, no stress seemingly on the surface, or booze on the underbelly, and I'm going with booze.
I think I got to go down to the sewer.
And
man,
I'm also,
dude, I'm a sewer rat.
I'm
dude.
also, we may all have problems.
Stewardess, could you get me another drink?
So Simon Phoenix finally has his well-armed gang fresh from the cryo-prison, and they're in the sewers making plans to take over the city when who do they run into? None other than our heroes, Lenina Huxley, the Hispanic guy. I can't remember his name because I've been drinking. Yeah, Latino guy. and of course, there's an amazing, yet another shootout, which is just awesome.
I'll be goddamn like a New York cockroach.
There's a car chase. It's just amazing. There's just nothing but pure action. It's just another action scene, and it's fun. That's why we're here. The majority of the reason why we're here. But there is a really important scene. They release a, what is it, like what kind of car is that? It's Oldsmobile. It's like a gas powered car, which is obviously rare in this.
Now that's a thing of beauty.
Yeah, and they're right on the street, like chasing down Simon Phoenix. But during the and at one point in time, John Spartan jumps on top of the
oh, dude, yeah,
the futuristic car, dude.
The Tesla.
Yep. Yes. The Tesla car.
Dude, it looks so fucking. I mean, again, this is all like.
It's
in
such
this,
a good
in the
scene.
last half of this movie is just balls to the fucking wall.
Yeah, just straight action.
So this is one thing I had written down. I actually love the concept of this police car when it has like
crashes.
When it has that catastrophic crash. She called it secure foam.
What the hell happened? All of a sudden, this car turned into a cannoli.
I think that's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
It's really cool. And
why is that not in a Tesla?
But
until it goes into your lungs and then you just fucking suffocate. And
I agree with Shadwick. His logic is sound. Listen, there's a point in time though in the fist fight and the melee where a key plot point is revealed. Simon, as they're fighting on the street, reveals that the hostages back in 1996, before they were frozen, were all dead.
Yeah,
that he killed them before. That's why
which I somehow missed this on the watch through again.
Yeah, in all of the action scenes, which you've seen them 1,000 times, it's easy to sort of just like glaze over and look off the screen. It happened to me, but yeah, that he reveals to the Demolition Man that I framed you.
Man, I went to jail with a 36-year slap.
He gets the strength to like throw Simon out of the car, which thank God. Every criminal in the future wears vests made out of old tire treads.
Yeah, dude.
Bro,
and
that's another thing. A couple of outfit changes for Simon Phoenix in this, and I forgot to mention this in the very beginning of the movie. When he breaks out of prison, he's wearing like prison garb.
Yeah.
But when you see him at the internet terminal, he's got this like jumpsuit,
futuristic,
like this Oshkosh bagosh, like suspenders and an orange shirt, and there's no I don't know where he gets it.
Like an Oshkosh bagosh.
Dude, it looks like a child's outfit, dude.
Yeah.
It's so and so you're right. Later on, he has this like
is he wearing like Timberlands with it?
It's something
dude,
like
it
that.
looks like that. It's just
so
but you're
funny,
right
man.
though. There are a couple of outfit changes, man. But
so once again, John Spartan is gotten the better of by Simon Phoenix. Simon Phoenix escapes back to Cocteau's place for their final confrontation, and basically it's all out on all the cards are on the table. Cocteau is excited about all of the mayhem that Simon Phoenix has been causing. Instead of being upset like you think he might be because he's completely out of control, no. Cocteau sees this as an opportunity to even stranglehold his grip on society even more, showing that he's the absolute maniac that that we all, even more so than we thought he was in the very beginning. But yet again, he is instantly outsmarted because whoops, he forgot the mind control chip on some of the dudes he thought out. So as Simon Phoenix, Wesley Snipes is trying to kill him, it makes me laugh every time because he's got the gun and he's got the chip, so he can't kill Cocteau, but he keeps trying to. He's like aiming as hard as he can to try to shoot him, but he can't. So he has one of his thugs.
Yeah, so one of his thugs just
chipped.
fucking like waste him.
Will you please kill him? It's pissing me off.
And that's it.
Just blows him, and then they just toss his body onto the big this like big fireplace.
Yeah,
and it's like throw another log on the fire, boys.
That does look like a real fucking body he throws in there too.
It does. And the leg is all like flopped over, dude. It's awful. So they kill Cocteau easily, just unceremoniously. And Otho volunteers to serve Simon.
Well, I mean, when you're taking 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day, you got to have somebody to feed you. You know what I mean? So it's like he's like
sugar daddy.
Yeah, dude. He's like, okay, hold on. He's like, yeah, I know this Beetlejuice guy that can maybe help you out.
It's Simon. So Simon.
Well, don't say his name 3 times.
Yeah.
Simon Cocteau. Simon Phoenix is taking over now. Wesley Snipes' character is in complete control.
Yep.
Like he has carte blanche now to murder,
and he's about to fucking thaw everybody out now.
That's the plan, dude.
Yeah,
is to thaw out
like 80 of his gang members.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
Like
80 random gang members. He's gonna thaw them all out. So they go to back to the Cryo-Prison where a lot of this began. And he's thawing them out.
Jeffrey Dahmer? I love that guy. Look, we got to get him. How long before the rest are done?
They're in the final stages of reanimation, sir.
Great. Absolutely great.
We come to the final battle at the Cryo-Prison. Obviously, Demolition Man figures out what he's trying to do. He takes his stun baton and he knocks out Lenina Huxley because she's not equipped for this kind of action, man. It's got to be a one-on-one.
Yeah.
He does, and it's got to be a one-on-one battle, man. This is the early 90s.
Yeah, dude. 90s, 80s. You know,
it's Rocky versus Drago.
Yeah, dude. So it's fucking game on, and
here
we go.
Their final
Is it
battle,
East against West or Man against Man?
Yeah. Thank you, lyrical genius.
And we get one. So Simon Phoenix is at the Cryo-Prison thawing out, and he is one of the last funny lines of the film when he's just literally like looking at one of the frozen prisoners in the cube. Is like, "Whoa, I hope my butt didn't look like that."
Yeah.
Just he can't shut up.
As soon as they like start shooting though, like John Spartan, he goes and hides, like takes shelter behind one of those ice cubes, and you just see this fucking butt crack.
Yeah, I know. It's there's
and then
it's
like
so funny.
And then like just a few seconds later, he goes to another one, and I'm pretty sure that was a bush.
Yeah, there's I don't think there's any dong or anything else, but yeah, there's
some
Did you see that bush? And this fight is just going on and on.
Yeah,
and you do get, I do like that, you know, of course you have you know, like Spartan's about to get I mean, I guess really watching these movies, they're in, the hero's in danger, but you know how these movies end. So there's never that anxiety of like, oh shit, he may die. Like you're like, man.
Yeah. So Simon Phoenix uses the
jaws of life,
the claw,
the claw,
and like he has like Spartan in the thing that like picks up the cubes of ice,
right?
And he's shooting at him and cannot hit him.
Well, I think he's. I thought about this too, and in my brain, I justified this with him toying with his food, like he's just playing with
cat,
him. Right?
Okay.
So he's playing with him because he's sadistic as fuck. And also, if we're using the Joker Batman analogy, once Spartan's dead, you know, was he? You know,
it's like I think we're destined to do this forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and
he
so,
wants to
so he's
savor
playing
maybe
with
even
him.
a little too long.
Spartan gets off, and then you get a nice little fucking callback to the very, very beginning of the movie, which I will put a cut out for a short this week that will be Demolition Man in 10 seconds, and it'll be these two scenes linked together.
Where are they, Phoenix? Now, where did I put them? I swear, I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached.
I'll keep that in mind.
Hands up!
Didn't pick it up till the second time I watched it. When I watched it the second time, he's got a beautiful body, man. And the second time I watched it, like I was like, oh shit, like so it makes, you know, it connects the dots on that. So he's fucking dead.
So he's dead. He's defeated. Yeah. Simon Phoenix.
He's dead now.
And then everything explodes because here we are in explosion times in these movies. So fucking Spartan. Yeah.
Which by the way, all those are prisoners. I mean, I guess they just got the death penalty. Did y'all think about that? 80 fucking guys.
There was one lady. There was one dude in there for like 30 days for jaywalking.
Yeah,
like, that dude is fucking dead.
Got exploded.
One person missed a child support payment. He's in there for 15 days.
Yeah, and you don't even.
There's probably a bunch of those.
And you don't even get the solace of like these guys being like, well, they were frozen. They don't know. Oh, they knew.
No, they knew.
We established that early on. They watched themselves die.
So they feel themselves being killed while it's happening. Me and Chadwick and Leaf are in there for public intox.
It's just like, God damn it.
God damn it. So, anyway, it blows up, murders all of these prisoners. Death penalty for everyone.
For everyone, the place explodes, but guess who gets out? Like, at the last second with a classic, like, slanted mouth.
Dude, you gotta get one. You gotta get one more. Yeah. You gotta get one more at the end, like Chadwick was talking about. One more.
Never gets old. I'll never get sick of seeing that. As long as he could be 97 years old, I would watch it.
Yeah, dude. So
I would watch it.
He probably will be.
Yep.
I'm ready for it, dude. Let's go.
It'll be Expendables 37.
Oh, beautiful.
So Leaf, fucking bring us home, baby.
Cocteau's dead. Phoenix is destroyed. San Angeles is unfortunately left leaderless for its first time in all of these years. The citizens and rebels must come together and figure out how to rebuild a more equitable yet free society. Spartan suggests a balance between order, obviously, and freedom, which is what we've always struggled to try to. We're back where we started, basically. Spartan swings Lenina Huxley around, gives her a big smooch, finally delicious fluid transfer to end the film.
Hell
She returns the favor in kind, and they both walk off, discussing, of course, the secret of the
three seashells. Yeah,
seashells.
And so before
black.
Yeah, before we end this, I do want to say you mentioned his daughter earlier.
I did.
So one of the under people who kept calling Morlocks. One of those was supposed to be his daughter, and they cut that scene. They cut that scene out
Was it the rat sucker chick?
No, it was not.
With the one eyebrow.
I don't know. I don't know.
Unibrow.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one it was, but yeah, one of those were supposed to be his daughter, and there was going to be a reunion, but because of time constraints, and they wanted to like trim it down. Also, you know who else is in this movie? Which I briefly saw. I need to go back and confirm this. Jack Black is one of the people in the sewer.
Really?
Yes.
He didn't have a speaking line in this film.
No, this is before. This has been 90. I guess filmed in 92, but he's in there. I'll clip it in here.
Wow.
The clip of him in there. But yeah, man. So
from that to Minecraft movie, we've come full circle.
Circle for Jack Black. So, but so anyway, man. That is Demolition Man. I think the question I was going to ask, we already answered in the middle of the episode, which we are all sewer dwellers. So if we had our choice, we're living in chaos with booze and rat burgers. Fuck it, you know?
Freedom is freedom, dude. Give it to us, man.
Freedom isn't free. It costs a hefty fucking fee. And if you won't put in your $1.05, who will? And with that, guys, I'll lead it over to our Norm Macdonald clip of the week.
Last week, as Pat Buchanan announced his decision to run for president, several people jumped on stage chanting, "Buchanan is a racist." As security began to wrestle them from the stage, Buchanan stopped them and said, "Let them continue. That's my slogan."
She said